Well, good evening, everyone. We are back to recap week 15. There's only a couple of times that we're going to be together before the season ends. As usual, Jimmy's over in Phoenix. Jed is over in the suburb of Illinois. We're recording on a Monday night as we're watching the Monday night football game.
Boring.
I'm heavily invested because I am all in on Christian Watson today.
Yeah, I feel bad for one of my coworkers needs Christian Walker to score 6 points to win, and Christian Watson. And man, I don't know. He's got 0 right now.
No,
So
it is a
he might not
boring.
make
It
it.
is a boring game right now. But honestly, I rather keep it. I rather keep it low because I don't want any of these guys to score any points. Otherwise, I'm going to lose.
Yeah, in my league, a lot of times I'm in the playoff round. It is Aaron Rodgers and Tyler Higbee on the opposing team. I have Christian Watson and Bobby Wagner on my team.
Ooh.
So far, Wagner and Watson has 0 points.
Are you winning or
Yeah,
losing?
I am
Rodgers
up by
doesn't have
10
any-
points.
Oh,
Rodgers
10
doesn't
points.
have any points either, right?
Yeah,
Rodgers has
yeah.
barely like a point.
He has negatives 0.6 points.
Yeah.
Negative? He's got negative?
He's at negative.
He threw an interception?
Yep, he threw an interception over to Lazard today.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, a couple of things as we're talking. We're going to have one eye on the game as well, too. Jonathan Taylor, he's out for the year, high ankle sprain. Let me ask you a quick question. I'll start off with Jimmy. Has Christian McCaffrey become your number one draft pick for next year in light of what we saw from Jonathan Taylor this year?
I don't know if he would be my number one draft pick. I'm trying to think who else I would pick higher than him. I would say McCaffrey's still going to be 2 or 3. I don't think Taylor's going to be number 1.
Austin Eckler?
Yeah, I would say Eckler's up there.
Or will you even go to Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase for next year?
You know, I mean, I actually would not. If it was me, if I had the number 1 draft pick, I would pick either Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson. I would pick one of the receivers.
Yeah. Jed, what do you think a lot of times when you look at Jonathan Taylor?
You know, I didn't like Taylor before just because of the situation he was in. Well, I mean, everyone thought the Colts were going to be much better than they were. So that's a big thing. But I was the one who did not like Jefferson really as that high of a pick. Although I would say first 5 weeks, 6 weeks, it did not look like it was going to pan out. But then he really turned it on, and then it did pan out. So I think Jefferson's going to end up probably around number 4, number 5 as far as top points. And you're right. I mean, McCaffrey's probably going to be the third or maybe second running back.
I would say number 2 or number 3. Right.
But man, like his injury history, I would stay personally.
I wouldn't fully
stay
trust
away.
him either. Yeah. I mean, Eckler, I would say would go ahead. Maybe even a Derrick Henry, I would pick above it. But I actually would take a chance on a Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase.
Yeah. Well, and the other person I throw in there again, Tyreek Hill, man. Tyreek Hill has proved himself 2 seasons now, and he's going to probably be the number 2 wide receiver, or he might jump over Jefferson. We'll see. But those two guys flip flop, and I don't know. He's proved himself this year, I think.
As we're talking, we're sitting here looking at the Green Bay game. Aaron Rodgers is driving. He's made 3 straight throws for 43 yards, and here he is making one more throw. And hey, look, I'm hoping that Christian Watson will eventually get a point here.
He will. I think Watson will get a touchdown before the end of the game. It's just, he's the guy that Rodgers looks to.
Tom, remind me, how many points do you need from them to win?
Well, right now I'm up by 9.
Okay.
Yeah. So as long as now, a lot of times I think a lot of times if I have maybe another 5 points or something like that, I should be good.
Basically, what you want is Rodgers not to only score with Watson.
Correct.
Or if he throws a touchdown, it can't go to anyone other than Watson.
Either if it goes to Watson, need a bunch of interceptions from Rodgers. All right, keep throwing interceptions.
Well, if he's at -6 already, he's probably just barely even breaking even right now. So that's good.
0.6 actually.
Oh, 0.6.
Oh, 0.6.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, Travis Kelce, has he made up into your top 10 for next year? He really is the only a tight end that is really good this year.
I saw that they showed the top 10 leaders in receiving yards this year, and Kelce, I think, was number 5.
Yep, Travis Kelce has done a remarkable job.
I think he was number 5. Yeah, so I was like, man, you're getting a wide receiver 1 for a tight end. That's like pretty phenomenal. So I mean, I do think Kelce's a good pick.
But think about it. There's nobody else, right? We all thought Kyle Pitts was going to ascend to that top
Yeah, he
five.
wasn't.
He didn't fulfill.
Yeah,
We thought
Darren
that
Waller
maybe
hurt.
Darren Waller, he didn't fulfill. Mark Andrews, he's gone 5 straight games without a touchdown. He
Yeah.
hasn't fulfilled. The only person that maybe even has come somewhat close is a George Kittle. And Evan Ingram kind of snuck out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you're going to want a good tight end, I would kind of go after. I would go after.
Yeah, I mean, Kelsey is far and away better than everyone else, but the tight end position, especially next year for the draft, it's a free for all, man. That it's
Yeah.
like you just can't predict. There's no solid, like you said, there's no for sure bets. There used to be, but there just hasn't been. And so, for me, that means draft later. Like I would sit on both tight end and quarterback.
Now Waller did get a touchdown yesterday. In yesterday's game.
Yeah, I told you guys.
Man, I was sitting there, Cole Kmet or Waller. I started Cole Kmet. I said, "Oh man,
I told you guys." Like coming off of the IR, I said that last week because he was on a roll before he got hurt, and then it's just he got hurt. So I mean, and I still have high hopes for the guy. It's just that he's injury prone, right? He hasn't proven that he can.
Okay, but did you guys see that interception from Chandler Jones?
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
That play was crazy. I've watched that replay like twice. I was like, what were they thinking? Like they actually apparently the call was it was a draw, right? So basically they were playing for overtime and they didn't think they had a chance even to get a field goal. And then to get whatever 30, 40 yards, they actually had a chance at a field goal if he had just sat. But he didn't. Like, I don't know what.
But did you see that Matt Jones? If Matt Jones wanted to throw his body into Chandler Jones,
yeah, if he had to take it,
he could have stopped him. But he was not. He was not going to do it.
Yeah.
Green Bay's in the red zone right now, and they just did a running play.
Yeah, Ramondre Stevenson. All he had to do was just lay there, and then from that point, kick a field goal. If it misses, it goes straight to overtime.
Exactly. I mean, well, but yeah. I mean, bottom line is their heads were just, they went to like end of the game, like just try to flea flicker. That was crazy.
Speaking of Matt Jones and New England Patriots, does Matt Jones have to yell at everyone on the sideline all the time?
I don't like Mac Jones. I've thought that what's his face when he did so well there after Jones was injured. To me, that just showed that he's expendable, and I don't think they really need him.
Look, for a quarterback like Tom Brady to be yelling at the players, okay, that's one thing. Mac Jones, who has really done nothing as a rookie, it's his second year. He's still below average. He shouldn't be yelling at the players.
Yeah, no, not at all.
And pretty soon, a lot of times the offensive linemen probably won't protect as hard for him.
Yeah. Or take a look at the Brock Purdy over in San Francisco. He has been not only performing well, but very humble guy, man. Like basically just like playing it off. I mean, he's won 3 straight, or is that 4 now? Just playing very well. I mean, Brock Purdy, I think, is a legit person. We were just talking about this. So coming out of this week, you got to talk about.
They just scored.
They just scored. Nice.
Yes,
so
who was that?
I bet you it's AJ Dillon.
Ooh. Yeah.
AJ Dillon, yeah.
Ooh.
Yep, AJ Dillon.
So that hurts you, Tommy.
As long as AJ Dillon keeps scoring, I'm good. Keep scoring.
You got AJ Dillon?
No, I got Aaron Rodgers. I just need him not to throw a touchdown.
Yeah. Well, no, but that would count as a touchdown. It was a pass, right?
No, it was
a handoff. Okay. Yeah. Good. What I was saying is the 2 injuries, right? So Jonathan Taylor, but then Jalen Hurts. So Jalen Hurts potentially won't play. So you got to think of who to pick up. And Brock Purdy, I mean, that's not a bad, he could potentially be a plug and play.
Yeah. Purdy, had 18 points this past week. Last week he had 20-something points. He's a good play, unless Trevor Lawrence is out there, and most likely he's not on the waiver wire anymore. Purdy would be a pretty good pickup.
Oh man, guys, I lost one league because I didn't play Trevor Lawrence. I sat Trevor Lawrence I was talking about that Riddler guy on Atlanta. I don't know why I thought he would be better.
Wait, you played Desmond Ridder instead of
over Trevor Lawrence.
Oh.
Yeah, because I think part of it was because I had Drake London and I really liked the quarterback wide receiver combo, and I thought, this will be perfect. If they go off, then I'll get both of them. And then he did not at all. I think he had single-digit points. So
for those who are not aware, Jalen Hurts' status in doubt with the strained shoulder that he had against the Chicago Bears.
I mean, they said pretty much he's not going to play against the Cowboys.
Yeah,
you would think he would try to play, because it's such a big game. And who was it? what's his name was talking smack about him the other day on a podcast.
Yeah, but at the same time, he has a sprained shoulder. They're 13-1. They pretty much have home field advantage. Just save him for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, listen to Purdy's numbers. 15 fantasy points 3 weeks ago, 21 points after that, 16.4 after that. I mean, he's had 2 touchdowns in every single game, thrown for, over 200 yards. I mean, this guy, that's not a bad move. I mean, and Jimmy, I know you've got hurt, so you're going to need someone. I think Purdy's not a bad
Deshaun Watson is probably out there. Deshaun Watson.
Dude, no. How many points did he have? They only won 13-3. How many points did he have?
Yeah, 18 points.
Yeah. I'm gonna look to see which quarterback is out there right now.
Yeah, no. I bet Purdy's out there. Mayfield's probably out there. I don't know how good he's gonna be.
Yeah, Mayfield's out there.
Taylor Heineke is probably out there, but they've been talking about replacing with Carson Wentz. He's probably not there, even though the Commanders will stick with Tyler Heineke for a while.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson is probably out there. He's starting the Christmas game.
So back to Jonathan Taylor being out, though. I think the guy to have, because they were alternating. Some people were debating between Zach Moss and I forgot the other guy's name, but Zach Moss is definitely the guy you want to get if you're trying to look for the guy who's going to take over Jonathan.
You think better than Jackson, the other guy?
Yeah, because Moss was also the heavy goal line guy. So that I don't know. That's the guy I'd go after.
Yeah.
Mike White is unlikely to play on Thursday night with a broken rib. It looks like he has a couple of fractured ribs. Zach Wilson, not as good as Mike White, but he did okay for New York Jets.
Yeah, but I think Mike White's your number one quarterback there, right? Because I feel like they've kind of
long term.
Yeah, they've just kind of given up on him unless something really happens to Mike White. Same thing with Trey Lance, right? Like they were saying, I was listening today on Dan Patrick show, and they were talking about are you going to replace a Purdy for Trey Lance? And they said, quite honestly, because Shanahan's so safe there, if Purdy ends up taking them to the Super Bowl, even if he takes them to the championship game, I think he's locked in the starting quarterback for next year. And then they'll get rid of Jimmy
Tom Brady. I don't think
Tom Brady's going to end up going there.
Yeah, I mean, think about he's coming back to Tampa Bay. He's not going back to Miami. I bet you he's going to be San Francisco. Or I wouldn't be surprised if he goes.
Think about how cheap Purdy is, right? If Purdy brings them to the Super Bowl, they can use his money for other free agent signings, and they don't have to spend all that money for a quarterback.
Hey, in our league, Jimmy, Tannehill is available. That's interesting.
Yeah,
I mean,
who would you choose, Purdy or Tannehill? I would choose a Purdy.
Yeah, I was just looking between those two, and their projections are about the same, 17 or 18 points. Yeah. I mean, Tannehill has not been good, but the one thing is Tannehill's playing Houston. That's a good. I mean, he could probably eat them up, and then Purdy's playing
Houston this past week.
Oh man, you're right.
Dallas pretty much in check, right?
The last 2 weeks, Houston has played over their heads and just made it tough. I picked up Tennessee 2 weeks ago just because they would be the defense playing Houston for this first week 16 because I thought, that'd be perfect. And now it turns out I don't know if that's a good play because Houston's played so well.
But they still have to lose to ensure that they get that number 1 draft pick to pick their quarterback.
Yeah, true. That's a good.
Knowing Lovie Smith, he's not going to lose. He's that type of guy. He's not going to lose. Yeah, and then who was it? Seattle gets that number 2 pick because they've got Denver's pick, and Denver's so bad right now.
Yeah. Hey, look, if you look at some of the quarterbacks, Trey Lance has not been very good. I mean, if you look at him, Trevor Lawrence is your number 1 draft pick, and Josh Fields has really become your second best quarterback in that draft.
Yeah, Justin Fields. Yeah.
Kirk Cousins engineered the greatest comeback of all time. He scored about 50 points in that particular game, again, to roll over 400 yards.
Yeah, 2 things, though, I would say. Not only did he engineer the comeback, but number 1, how bad do you feel for Matt Ryan? He is now the opposing quarterback for the worst Super Bowl loss and then the worst comeback in regular season history. But then also number 2, I was so glad to see Jeff Saturday lose in that fashion because now they're saying, could he be the first interim coach to be fired, which would be great.
You really don't like a Jeff Saturday, huh?
No, I do not.
Yeah.
I think that was actually, I would say, I mean, it's tough to fault him for taking it, but the idea that the owner basically just says, this is the guy, I'm taking him no matter what, like that drives me nuts. Like that has if you're trying to really win and manage a team well, like that is not how you do it. And I don't know. I hate that.
Yeah, but at the same time, are you surprised by the owner of Indianapolis Colts?
Oh,
He's
not
always
surprised
like
at all. Yeah, not surprised at all. Just like I'm not surprised that Dan Snyder's a jerk or Jerry Jones is a
Yeah.
jerk. But like, still, it doesn't mean I have to like them.
Yeah. I'm watching the Rams right now. Tutu Atwell is going to be a pretty decent receiver, fantasy wise.
I do like Tutu Atwell,
Yeah.
Louisville. He was
Yeah,
very, very good
I
out
think
of Louisville.
I think he's actually going to be a pretty decent player one day.
Hmm.
I do think that they're seriously. I mean, let's just see how Baker Mayfield does, but I can see them seriously keeping Baker Mayfield for a long haul to eventually replace Matthew Stafford.
The only thing with Tutu Atwell, he is like a Deshaun Jackson. He's pretty, but he if you look at him, he's kind of small, he's kind of thin. So that's the only thing. But he's a great speed receiver.
Yeah.
Let's see, Trevor Lawrence, Khalil Herbert. Any of you guys are lucky Khalil Herbert? He's practicing this week.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's coming on. David Montgomery had 2 touchdowns this week, so he did really well from a fantasy wise. But I think Herbert. I think they're going to test out. I think they're going to test out Herbert because, like you guys said, most likely Montgomery's going to walk this year. You're going to see a bunch of free agent running backs in the free agency, right? Singletary from Buffalo. I think Montgomery is going to be there. I think Elliott is going to be on the free agency. So you're going to see a bunch of these guys out there.
Man, that's so good to hear. Because as I told you guys in the keeper league, I might, if Herbert can end the season strong, he might be my 4th keeper.
Yeah.
Colt McCoy, Arizona Cardinals, had a concussion, is day to day. If he doesn't play, are you still? James Conner will do pretty well. Are you still? What are your thoughts on what's his name?
Andre
Hopkins. Yeah, it's so tough. But I still feel like DeAndre is so good. Whoever is back there, and he's going to get all the attempts. So I would still, even just, especially if you're in a PPR league or at least a half-point PPR, he's still worth it just for the reception. So you're still playing him.
Okay, let me ask you a quick question, though. A lot of times I had DeAndre Hopkins who got me 9.5 points, but then a Chris Godwin got me 18 points.
Yeah, but Godwin's been coming on.
Yeah, but Godwin's you have to pick one. Would you pick Hopkins or Godwin?
Who's Tampa playing next week? I would look at, was this week 16? Who's Tampa playing? Shoot, I don't see it, guys. I would look at the matchups, but based on, I was listening to the commentators with Godwin. They were saying he finally looks healthy. So that's the thing is, remember, he was coming back from injury. So it sounds like he's finally at 100%, and a Godwin at 100%, even though, what's his name is Brady has not been doing great. I don't know. You might, depending on the matchup, you might take that over.
I feel like Godwin the last few weeks have really done a lot better than Mike Evans. Mike Evans really hasn't done much recently.
Yeah. One person who has done really well for me, J.K. Dobbins, 13 carries, 125 yards. The week before that, he had 120 yards, one touchdown. He had 15 points. The week before, he had 22 points.
Yeah, but think about it. There's nobody else, right? Huntley's not doing anything. Andrews hasn't scored anything. I mean, outside of J.K. Dobbins, who else is out there to receive?
I do like when Lamar Jackson is out because they actually tend to run with J.K. Dobbins a little bit more.
Yeah.
So
the Rams, Baker Mayfield just got sacked. Hey, Reagan.
New Orleans.
I was just looking to see who is Tampa playing next week. That's why I was trying to figure that out.
Yep. While you're looking at that.
They're playing Arizona. Tampa's playing Arizona.
Oh, yeah.
They'll we have Godwin. So they're playing each other. Yeah, so they're playing each other. So yeah, that's pretty good. I think I would stick with Godwin.
Yeah, but at the same time, you're right. If they go with the third string quarterback, if Colt McCoy does not play, you're definitely going to play Godwin over Hopkins.
Most likely, Colt McCoy is not going to end up playing. I think because these days, with all of the concussions, they're going to take it safe. So most likely, he's not going to play.
Yeah. Hey, go to New Orleans, Jim. Let me talk to you a little bit about Jawan Johnson catches 2 touchdowns in the Week 15 win over Falcons, but at the same time, Taysom Hill completed both of his pass attempts for 80 yards, one of them a 68-yard touchdown, and added 30 rushing yards. What do you think of those two?
Hey, I think right now they're losing, so they'll go with anything, right? I do think if you're going to pick one of the 2 players, Jawan Johnson's going to be the safer pick in terms of a tight end.
Yeah. But at the same time, if you need a tight end and
Oh
you're
yeah,
going to
Taysom Hill.
playoffs,
Yeah.
Taysom Hill. I mean, he always seems to strike all the time.
I mean, yeah, Waller. I think if he's out there, I think he's a good get. But I think Taysom Hill. Look, I mean, you're always going to be assured he's going to get something for you. You know, you're just hoping that the ceiling for that particular week is going to be pretty high.
Yep. Jed, at the same time, if you end up, are you going to the next round if you end up winning today? Who are you playing? Is it
so I had a bye. I had a bye because I was number one for this league and in 2 leagues. So in 2 leagues, I had a bye this week. I had 1 league that I needed to win to get in, and I made a mistake. As you guys said, I didn't play Trevor Lawrence. So I'm not in. So I'm waiting in the 2 leagues that I'm leading in. So we'll see. I might be ended up playing Jimmy. Actually, Jimmy, I think if you win,
I think you and I play each other against the Walter White League.
Right? Oh, next week?
I think so. I think it's me and you.
I thought it was in the championship that we would play.
You think it's in here? Let me look. I can check really fast. Yeah. I do hope I get into the championship. Like I was actually feeling pretty good about it until I saw that Jalen Hurts is out, and I was like, oh, stinks.
Now, with that said, Jed, we were just talking about Travis Etienne. He got 19 carries, 103 yards. He did pretty well yesterday against a great Dallas Cowboys defense.
Yeah, he did. That's why I was saying, like, I have to decide between him and Kenny Walker. It's a tough choice because Etienne, if he is full strength and back to kind of where he was, he definitely would be the player to play.
And I like your rationale a lot of times for Kenny Walker. Seattle is probably going to go down to see to the Kansas City, and as a result, they're going to be forced to throw and move away from the run.
Yeah, the one thing is Kenny Walker does a decent amount of receptions out of the backfield, so that could help a little bit. But yeah, it'll be between those two. I'm leaning towards Etienne right now.
Jed, it's me and you this week in the
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right, man. All right. Well, good luck.
Hey, going back to Jed, Zay Jones. He had catches, 109 yards, 3 touchdowns. 3 weeks ago, he had 11 catches, 145 yards. Last week, he had 77 yards, 1 touchdown. What do you think of a Zay Jones? I mean, we like a Christian Kirk, but what do you think of Zay Jones?
Yeah, I'm impressed. I mean, it felt fluky getting 3 touchdowns, but as you said, he's been fairly consistent, and it does feel like that's what was hurting with Christian Kirk, right? He's like taking stuff, unfortunately, out of Christian Kirk. So I don't know. Going into this week, who's Jacksonville playing? Sorry, just looking. Jacksonville playing, the Jets. They're playing the Jets on Thursday too. That's a quick turnaround game. Man, I don't know, Tommy. I think that's pretty good.
Here's the thing: it's the playoffs, right? You got to think there's some players that you want to play with a hot hand, right?
Yeah.
Because during this time, I was like, forget who you drafted, forget who you took number 1, go with the hot hand, and look at the matchups, but use those guys as the ones to bring you to the championship.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's. I think you're probably right. That's the right guy to go with.
I mean, Zay Jones is somebody you want to look at. Jerick McKinnon over the Chiefs is somebody you want to take a look at. Trevor Lawrence you want to play. Even Ezekiel Elliott. Ezekiel Elliott in the last few weeks has actually done pretty well. Averaged close to about 14 fantasy points the last few weeks.
Hey, you know who's been sticking up for me? Jamal Williams. He has not gotten a touchdown. He had a touchdown that was called back for a penalty, but he has not gotten a touchdown for me. Jamal Williams, the Detroit Lions.
That's because DeAndre Swift has really come on the last few weeks, so I think they've been really utilizing him a lot more.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, like yesterday, DeAndre Swift 8 carries, 52 yards. Even though Jamal Williams got 13 carries, but it was only for 33 yards and no touchdown.
Yeah. Austin Eckler.
Man, Jimmy, now that I.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Austin Eckler injured herself. Test came out negative, but he's day-to-day as well, too.
Oh, that hurts me in my other league. I got Eckler and Aaron Jones. Oh, man.
Aaron Jones has not done much. They've been really moving towards A.J. Dillon the last few weeks.
Well, he had 20. What do you have? He had 22 points this week, though. He did pretty good.
Who, A.J. Dillon or Aaron Jones?
Yeah. No, Aaron Jones. Oh, no. You're right.
Right now.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, Aaron Jones was day to day, and then he was proclaimed to be healthy, but AJ Dillon's been taking a bulk of his carries lately. Like right now, he just scored a touchdown.
Yeah, you're right, man. That'll be a tough one though. It'd be a tough decision to sit him. So in my league that I have him, I also have Pacheco. I've got James Cook. So I could potentially sit him, but that's a tough one.
James Cook did well this past week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
But
I
he's
should
up
draft
and
a
down,
quarterback
you know.
now, Jimmy. Now that I know I'm playing you, I'm going to take Purdy from you.
Actually,
I'm going to sit with 3 quarterbacks on my.
that would
on
be
my
kind of a smart
roster.
move, though. If
Yeah,
you
just
took
to
him from
block
me.
you. I think I'm just going to block you with Purdy, man. I like Purdy. I think he could get 20 points, no problem, and that's a lot. So,
Jed, I was talking to Jimmy about this. I'm playing with our friend Steve, and literally, would you have done this? I had to tell Steve that he had his quarterback out. He had Russell Wilson in the starting lineup, and I was sitting there on Saturday. Man, he does not know that Russell Wilson is out. Should I tell him? And I thought I should be a good competitor and say, Steve, just so you know, Russell Wilson is out. He says, if you didn't tell me, I would have never known I would play
No.
Russell Wilson.
I wouldn't
now,
have told him.
Tommy, how can you make that decision and then you can play Deshaun Watson? That's so inconsistent. I'm glad you did that. I would have done that, but then how can you turn around and play
No,
Deshaun
see,
Watson?
you would have done that. I wouldn't
man.
have done that. I'm like, no.
No,
You should
'cause
pay
you
attention. I was like, if you're gonna lose and you play Russell Wilson, that's on you.
No, well, okay, I do agree with that, but it is their fault. But if it is especially if it's a friend league, I would tell him, because just like in any sport, you don't want to win because the guy's hurt. You want to win because we're both full strength, and then I beat you full strength.
Victory's a victory. I'll take it anyway.
Depends on how much money's on the line. If we're talking triple digits, then yeah, okay, maybe.
Yeah, but at the same time, Deshaun Watson. I totally understand with all his. He's a creep, but at the same time, he's a great quarterback.
No, but he's not worth the last couple of weeks. He's stunk it up. He's not been good at all.
Yeah, no, I can't do it, man.
All right, let me ask you guys on the waiver wire. Do you guys like any of the waiver wire? Jed, I'll go over to you. Osborne, Minnesota wide receiver, 38.7 points. McKinnon, running back, Kansas City, 30.2 points. Algier had, give me 1 minute.
He had like 20 something points, didn't he?
Yeah.
No,
McKinnon shouldn't be out there. If McKinnon is on your waiver wire, you should hit him, because he's been playing very well. It's been a split backfield with Pacheco, but the thing is the Chiefs, they're going into playoff mode. They're focusing more on their running game, either through passing or handoffs and pitches and whatnot. And there's enough for both of them, just like Ezekiel Elliott and Pollard. So if you need a running back and McKinnon is out there, that is not a bad move. It really shouldn't be available for you.
Yeah.
Uzoma, tight end, New York Jets, 24.1 points this past week.
Oh, the Jets are such a tough one. It's tough to figure out. But
I think especially with Zach Wilson, right? Because you don't really know if you have Mike White, right? Like, you're going to get pretty consistent play from Garrett Wilson. Your running back's going to be pretty consistent. With Zach Wilson, you never know. This week, a couple of players might do well. Next week, he's going to stink it up. I don't trust Zach Wilson.
Yeah, it's a tough call. The Jets have been tough to play all week.
And he's going to play again this week because Mike White, most likely, like you said, is going to be out, right? So they'll bring up Zach Wilson again. That's why I don't want Zach Wilson to play.
You know, the player that's worrying me is Dak Prescott. So Prescott is playing Philly next week. So that's a good matchup. Should be a lot of points. Yeah. Although if Philly doesn't have Jalen Hurts, that'll be interesting. But Prescott has been so up and down. Like, I'm just worried that if he has a down week, then I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
Hey, we only have a couple of weeks left. We'll probably record maybe Friday, talk a little bit more, or Thursday or something like that. And then we'll record again next week. But that's really about it after that.
Yeah, I think what we can do as a wrap up, we can kind of share how we did in our leagues. And then we can also just talk about looking back. Again, I was just thinking, looking back to when we drafted, some of the things we said, some of the things we missed, some of the things we hit. And then we can think towards the future and kind of what, but because we hit a couple of things. Like, I was just thinking about like Tyreek Hill. That was a really important one to like trust his instincts or his skills going into Miami. But I think some of the big ones that we missed, like the Colts, everybody thought the Colts were going to be good.
Cam Akers.
Yeah.
Cam Akers.
Oh man, I still regret I didn't get to pull that trade off with you, man. That would have set me.
No, I mean, but here's the thing. None of us knew Kenneth Walker was going to end up emerging, right? Yeah. I think we all talked about how much we like Pacheco,
Yeah.
I thought Romeo Dobbs was going to end up being the number one wide receiver, and it turns out to be Christian Watson.
The pickup of the year. I really believe Christian Watson is the pickup of the year.
I don't know. You think so? Man, Kenny Walker's been good.
Yeah, I think Kenny Walker is a pretty good pickup this year.
Yeah.
Hey, and watch me draft Cam Akers again next year.
No, actually, the number one pickup this year. You know who the number one pickup this year is? Geno Smith. Anyone who picked up Geno Smith, man, you got him for nothing, and that guy is going to be a top 10 quarterback at the end of the fantasy season.
No, but I think the best two picks, if whoever picks up Jalen Hurts or AJ Brown this year, I think they because those guys were consistent. Those two were pretty consistent every week.
Yeah. And for kicker, Brett Mayer over Dallas, pretty good kicker. He consistently gets you more than 10 points a game.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're going into your playoffs, do not overlook the kicker position and the defense position. I mean, at this point, like 1 or 2 points can break you and make you. And like you said, with a kicker, just that one extra point, that one extra field goal that can push you over to win.
I also think that if you look back, the top 3 quarterbacks, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Herbert, if you drafted them or paid a lot of money, you could have gotten better value by getting like a Geno Smith, Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, right? Like you could have gotten better quarterback play than the top 3.
Yeah. Hey, speaking, going back to the kicker as well too. Watch, especially if you're in the game, look for the kicker who's playing indoors, especially with some of these bad weather teams. Yeah. If you have one playing indoors, prioritize that kicker over everything else.
Yeah, especially in the north, if they're playing up north. And actually this week's supposed to be huge storms, right? So there's going to be a lot of snow. That's going to mess up. Definitely pay attention to that. And again, I don't know if you guys are using Yahoo or ESPN, but on Yahoo, there's a little cloud symbol when it's bad weather in that game, and it tells you got to pay attention to that. That's why Yahoo.
I do appreciate it, because I just realized at Yahoo what RZ meant.
Yeah.
You didn't know that?
There it is.
Dude, Yahoo is so much better than ESPN. Yahoo should sponsor us, because Yahoo far superior to ESPN.
Yeah. Speaking of that, let me ask you quickly, going over to basketball. What do you think of the Anthony Davis injury? He's probably going to be out a month, maybe longer as well too. The Lakers were just doing well. He was averaging about 40-12, and now he's injured for at least a month.
I was watching him in one of the games, and I forgot which game it was, but he was just limping along the entire game. And I was like, he's the weakest player out there. Any little nick, he's done.
Well, and I was going to say he was averaging 40 and 12 for the past maybe 5 games. But if you look over the course of the beginning of the season, he was definitely hurting that team. So I don't know. I mean, I don't, it's tough for them, but I think you're looking to see where those points go now.
Sunday night, did you notice how Jokic did in that game?
Yeah, Jokic was awesome. Yeah, what did he have a triple double at the end?
40 points, 27 rebounds, 10 assists.
Yep, triple double.
He did pretty good. 2 steals. It was a very, very good game.
I had my first loss this week, Tommy, because I freaking forgot. You know what I hate? So I love Yahoo for having you push one button, it starts everyone. But I forgot that if you make a change, then it erases the next day after. You have to re-hit that button. And so I made a change on Friday, didn't think it reset on Saturday. So on Saturday, I sat half my team. So that's why I lost. I was so mad. That was my first loss.
Oh, man. Yeah.
And I need every single point to stay up with you, man, because you're right there.
Yeah, but at the same time, Jed, Steph Curry is out. Middleton is out. Ingram is out. Wendell Carter Jr. All my guys are injured.
Yeah, no, it's definitely about injuries in basketball. And it's such a, as you know, it's such a, they're constantly moving in and out. Although I really appreciate the IL spots really help you there. But
it's we have 4 ILs. I was trying to change it, couldn't change it. And so we're stuck with 4 ILs. And somehow or another, Wendell Carter Jr. was sitting there on waivers last week. I said, why is Wendell Carter
Jr.
Wait,
is he really?
Yeah, somebody put him on waivers.
Why? So did you pick him up?
Yeah, I picked him up, but he's sitting on IL and for now, but he's coming back on Friday.
Well, same thing. I got Cameron Johnson was on IL. I picked up D'Angelo Russell was on IL at some point. I mean, basically, people are desperate for the slot. They want to get the slot to get the points for that week. But
Yeah.
the potential, you got to look longer term than that. I did get a couple of my guys back though finally, so I'm happy. Siakam has been looking good. John Collins is finally coming back. LaMelo Ball finally got LaMelo Ball back, so hopefully my assists will come back up now.
But watch LaMelo Ball; he'll probably be out injured again.
I hope not, man. You know who's
Lonzo Ball's been out for ages.
No, that guy's not coming back. So you know who I realized?
You don't think Lonzo Ball's coming back?
I don't know, man. With the Bulls, I don't know. That Lonzo Ball, I don't know. But you know who I realized? The key to my team is Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum is. I know, Jimmy, you were trying to trade me for him. That was a pretty good offer. It was a decent offer. He offered me what's his face, Damian Lillard plus what's his face from Golden State, Jordan Poole, which is not a bad move because with Steph Curry out, Poole's he's gonna go through the roof. But Tatum, man, I think Tatum's top 5. Like that guy is insane.
You think he's better? Some people say he's better than Kevin Durant right now. I think so.
I mean, I think he's top 5 right now.
Yeah.
I was so frustrated because I had to put Jordan Poole on waivers in order for me to make a trade, and I did not want to get rid of Jordan Poole.
I had him too.
Well.
I had him too. I picked him up at one point. Like he's just that guy you can't quite hold on to. He's like right at the edge.
Yep. Jim, I'm trying to make a trade because you're in one of our other leagues with our friend Intech and Sam. You're in last place, so I'm trying to make a trade for you with Wood as well as who's your other guy?
You want Booker or you wanted somebody else? Christian Wood, yeah.
I like Booker. Booker's good.
Yeah.
Other than that, let me ask you, Bulls. Let me just talk Bulls a little bit. If you were the Bulls, Lonzo Ball is not coming out. Would you trade Zach LaVine?
I wouldn't have signed Zach LaVine a couple of years ago.
Agreed.
Because I don't think he was a superstar. I know they were forced to do it, but I wouldn't have done it.
This was last year, not even a couple of years ago. Last year.
Yeah.
Murray is playing, man. DeJounte Murray is playing. What? He was on IL.
Hey, Jed, would you trade him? That's another player I really want. Yeah.
No, I like the combination of Murray and Trae Young. That's been like a good.
You know who I can't stand? Collins. I do not like Collins.
Oh, really?
Why? Really?
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Especially, I was hoping that he would get traded though. He needs a little bit more time. Like, you know who's good? Siakam, man. Siakam's got 38, 15, and 6.
I like Siakam.
Dude, Siakam's killing it right now.
Kawhi Leonard is good when he actually plays.
Banchero has been excellent for me.
Yeah.
The other day he had 31 points and 6 threes.
Well, I paid $110 for him or something.
Yep. And looking in our league, I should have kept bidding Halliburton. He got all the way up to 80, and Jalen was sitting there. I was going to go as high as 100. I should have just kept bidding.
Yeah, you should have. Jalen's the one that was bidding with me on Banchero.
Yes.
Actually, if you think about it, if going back now, if I just picked up Halliburton and Banchero, that'd been great.
Yeah. No, you got to get in keeper leagues. You got to go with superstars, man, because well, I guess the thing is though, we can only keep 4, right? Or 5? We keep 5 in this league.
We keep 5, but Jimmy's been wanting to change it to 4 next year.
Well, it does open up the draft pool if you do that.
Yep. Have you guys been paying attention to the White Sox and the Cubs? They signed a bunch of players.
Yeah, they're okay.
Yeah. Hey, did you guys watch the World Cup?
No,
I watched recaps of it.
Dude, World Cup. Okay, and this was Sunday morning, and I was preaching on Sunday, so I was trying to pay attention, get ready to preach. But man, guys, if you don't like soccer, I get it. That was probably the best game of the century. Watch the replay of it. That was it. If you can't be excited by that, then soccer is definitely not for you. It was a great game.
Yeah. Did you know the winning team gets $40 million?
Oh, I didn't know that.
40 million. Second place gets 30 million.
Yeah, wow. But this guy from France, Mbappe, he's basically he's gonna be the Michael Jordan. If he's already up there, the guy's insane. He's only 23 years old. He basically, can you imagine in an 11-on-11 soccer game, this one guy almost won the World Cup for his country. I mean, single-handedly had a hat trick. That's just insane.
Jed, one day I will watch soccer.
I know. If you don't like soccer, then I mean, to me, I like hockey too, and it's very similar strategies and similar, parts to it. So it's watchable at the World Cup level. If it's not at the World Cup level, I'm not watching it.
I was more excited about the White Sox signing Andrew Benintendi.
He's okay. No, she went from what, the Red Sox to he was Kansas City
Kansas
and then
City.
New York.
He's not bad. He's a
but in
center
New York
fielder.
he was injured, so they're. I feel like they're overpaying him.
Tommy, I gotta tell you, I would take World Cup semifinal or finals over baseball playoffs.
Really interesting.
Dude,
I love baseball players
on
with your
TV.
teams in it.
On TV, I'm talking about. In person, I think baseball is a lot more fun to watch. But on TV, man, baseball is boring.
Yeah. Well, we'll end this by saying this. I just watched the George Clooney, Julia Roberts movie. That was actually a pretty good movie.
Which
If
one?
you get a chance, watch it.
Which one? What was it called?
It was it's the one where they end up going to Bali to try to get their daughter back from stop a wedding that she's part of. I think it's like The Exotic Life or something like that. I don't know.
I finally watched, or my wife and I have been we were watching a Wednesday, that remake
Oh,
of
yeah,
the
yeah. Is it
Addams
good?
Family. It
Is
was
it
fun.
good?
I liked it. It was funny. It's cute. You know,
It's
like,
dark, isn't it dark?
it's got a little dark, but it's not like it's like PG-13 dark. I
Yeah,
mean, yeah.
The one that I've been watching, the documentary, Disney Plus, Jordan Rides the Bus. Not bad.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Jordan writes what? Michael Jordan?
Michael
Yeah.
Jordan during the when he signed
When
with
he
the
was
White
with the White Sox. Yeah.
Oh,
It was
I
actually
think-
pretty good. Yeah.
Oh, I might have already watched that one.
Yeah.
I already watched that one.
We
We just finished watching A Pentatonix Christmas on Disney Plus.
Oh,
Yeah. And then they have the Hip Hop Nutcracker with Run DMC.
oh, the also on Disney Plus, the Guardian of the Galaxy's Christmas special. That was pretty
Is that good? I haven't seen
Yeah,
it.
it was funny.
Yeah. Was
And
it?
you know, Amazon Prime this week, if anyone's watching, Jack Ryan comes back.
Oh,
Season 3, December 21st.
Have you seen all of them? I've never seen any of them.
Oh, it's pretty good. It's pretty
Is
good.
it? Yeah, I should watch them. I've never seen them.
All right. Hey, maybe I think we're gonna come back sometime on Friday, right?
okay.
Oh,
Sounds good.
you know what? We'll talk. So,
Okay.